best friend had an affair last year. My husband, male 39, and I, female 37, have been married for 7 years. We have a 5-year-old son. He also has a 9-year-old son from his previous marriage. My best friend, female 36, confessed to me that she and my husband had an affair last year that ended around Christmas time, May 2023. I had noticed some distance there on her part, but she always seemed to have what sounded like valid reasons. I definitely felt like something was different with her, but I never assumed it was anything like this. We still talked and saw each other during the entire time that they were doing whatever they were doing together, and since it all ended in December. She told me now because she has confessed to her husband and she wanted me to hear it from her instead of him. She's filing for a legal separation from her husband, and in their long talk about their marriage and why this was happening, she confessed to the affair she had with my husband. During those conversations, I guess I made the mistake of telling her about the romantic things my husband still does for me and how good he is in bed. And that's the truth. I thought our relationship was great. I was, and frankly still am, in love with him. I never had any sense that he wasn't attracted to me, was interested in other people, and was cheating. She said it started in October of 2023 and it was just sex. I know she has been very dissatisfied in her own marriage and sex life with her husband because she had talked to me about it several times. At one point, she was even considering divorcing her husband. She would always say she loved her husband and he was a good man, but the relationship lacked any sense of romance and he didn't satisfy her sexually. She said she found herself flirting with him at a children's Halloween party in October. She felt very attracted to him and admitted she was jealous of what I had but never thought of pursuing him. Then after the party, she decided to text my husband to ask for advice about her husband and their marriage. We're all friends and we get along, and normally I'd never feel weird about her texting my husband for a man's perspective or anything. However, in this case, I believe it was just her excuse to start texting him and talking about how dissatisfied she was. She said the texts progressively got more and more inappropriate until they were sexting each other. She showed me parts of their text conversations, but I didn't want to look at it. Eventually, they met up in the middle of the weekday to have sex. She said they probably met up and had sex 20 or so times. She claims they talked about it and both felt an extreme sense of guilt, so they mutually ended it around Christmas. My husband is a really good-looking guy. He's a people person. His job sort of puts him in the public light here where we live. He's known in our community. He's out and about a lot because of that. It's not strange for women to flirt with him, and I'd say he is a flirty person, but somebody who definitely knew where to draw the line. Our sex life is great. We make time to do things together, just the two of us. We definitely laugh way more than we argue. I just never thought he'd ever do this to me, and with my supposed best friend of all people. This past weekend, he was on a trip with his older son. She says she told her husband and I this weekend because she knew my husband was away, and this might give me time to process. How considerate of her to think of me now. I feel like all my insides have been ripped out. I feel completely empty inside, hollow. I picked him up from the airport yesterday and didn't let on that I knew anything. He was in a good mood and acting completely normal. I told him I wasn't feeling good and immediately went straight to bed so that I wouldn't have to interact with him. I'm a bad liar. I'm trying to figure out what in the heck I'm going to do first before confronting him, but I'm not sure that's going to be possible. I'm also worried my friend's husband will contact my husband. I haven't heard from him yet. I should probably reach out to him, but I feel so nervous. I didn't do anything wrong, but I suppose I feel guilty by proxy. It's ridiculous. Later at night, when my husband went to bed, he was rubbing on me and tried to initiate sex. Normally, I would want sex after being apart for a few days, so it's just not realistic to think I'm going to be able to put on an act for very long. Let's see what kind of words of wisdom come from the community. Wow, talk to a lawyer and see where you stand. He's good at hiding and not letting his guilt show, so he might be an expert in this. Time to start looking and see what else he has hidden from you. Look at social media and phone. Good luck and stay strong. Another person says, extreme guilt would be stopping and confessing after the first time. 20 or so times is a full-blown affair. The fact that he has been acting totally normal at all this time shows what a good liar he is. So from now on, believe nothing. This was not an accident or mistake. Think of all the deliberate planning that has to take place in order to meet up 20 times and keep it all that sex and all that communication hidden. Keep in mind that if your friend had not told you, that your wayward husband would still be going on with this charade. Just tell him you're getting an STD tested and you're going to see a lawyer ASAP. And you would like him to find somewhere else to stay until the two of you can work out a co-parenting and custody plan. If he won't, then ask him to move out of your shared bedroom, Grey Rock 180, and only communication about the kids. Communication about property, etc. Well, that's what lawyers are for. Expect your husband to deny. Keep in mind, you don't know if the friend was his only affair partner. He seems quite adept at hiding his affairs. She may be filing for separation due to her and your wayward husband making plans to be together. Her divorce is a way to force things to come to a head. The next bit of advice says, get a lawyer, a therapist, and a divorce. Your best friend of all people? It's like a sister. If you stay with him, you will forever wonder if he's cheating and be miserable. Read Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. The fact he can carry on without you even suspecting would seriously worry me. It makes me wonder how often he's lied. DOP replies, either he's a really good liar, actor, or maybe I'm just that oblivious. I can't believe I noticed nothing. I noticed a difference with her, and the entire time I was concerned about her and what might be going on.